Welcome to BOC. This film is designed to help you weld safely, get the best possible results, as well as save you time and money. So whether you're just starting out on your career, already use welding in your workplace but want to achieve far more, or just want to get started, this video is for you. We're focusing on mag welding some mild steel, a typical workshop task, offering useful hints and tips, and all with one goal in mind: getting the job done right and first time. Let's take a closer look at some of the essential startup procedures which deliver a high quality weld and keep you and your colleagues safe. Before welding, you need to think about choosing the right venue and whether it is suitable and as safe as possible. And to achieve the best possible weld while still keeping your safety in mind, the cylinder, regulator and gas flow rates all need to be set up correctly. The right working area is critical for your safety and those of your colleagues. The ideal environment is somewhere like this, which is a well-ventilated, uncluttered, well-lit and secure space with enough room to move around and see what you are doing. A second key safety check is to ensure that you remove all flammable materials from the vicinity. So, for example, they are well away from any welding sparks. Another important consideration is to make sure the area is secure and that others are always aware that you're welding, so they don't enter unless they all have the correct protective equipment. Again, this is essential, as the ultraviolet light of a welding arc can damage a person's eyes and should never be looked at without wearing eye protection, which is specifically designed for the arc welding process. Only once you have made these checks should we move on to preparing the cylinder, gas hose and regulator, and setting the right gas flow rates for our mild steel. The gas regulator should be less than 5 years old from point of manufacture, or as per the manufacturer's recommendation. You can check this by looking here for the manufacture date, which is displayed on all approved regulators. And if you are still unsure or are concerned about your regulator's manufacture date, the team at BOC's Gas and Gear Outlets can check this for you. Your regulator should also be specifically designed for the gas you're using. In this case, it is BOC's Argo Shield shielding gas, so we're using a BOC Series 6000 single stage regulator with a flow gauge. Your next step is to ensure the regulator's pressure adjustment screw is fully wound out in an anti-clockwise motion before fitting it to the cylinder, so it can be adjusted later. Just before fitting the regulator, check the cylinder valve outlet for any contamination. If you do see something, don't use gas from the cylinder to clear it away. Wiping the area with a clean, dry towel is both safer and more effective. When connecting the regulator to the cylinder, use moderate force and do not over-tighten. You should also make sure that there is clear access if you need to shut off the cylinder, so ensure the regulator is positioned so that you can access and operate the valve. As you can see, we are also connecting our flow meter for a clearer view. The same approach should be used when fitting the gas delivery hose to the regulator. Use moderate force only. With the gas cylinder valve, it only requires between a quarter and a half turn for it to be fully open. Checking for leaks is also vital, so when the cylinder and regulator are turned to the correct working pressure, a leak detection fluid like this should be used. Spray the fluid around the connection joints like this, and if you detect a leak, then you should turn the cylinder off and retighten the regulator. Detecting a leak is quite straightforward. The detection fluid will visibly bubble around the area where the gas is escaping. The indicator on the gas flow meter can also be a useful indicator as to whether you have a leak. If it is clearly showing a sign of flow, then a leak is present. If there are no signs of leaks, we wind in the regulator screw to achieve the ideal gas flow rate for this particular weld. For this particular section of mild steel and using Argo Shield Light, the gas flow rate should be set at between 12 and 15 litres per minute. You can check the flow rate by looking here and use the regulator adjustment screw to get the perfect flow. Achieving the right gas flow rate for the work you are doing is essential. and will have a direct result on the quality of the weld as well as the overall cost of the job. In the case of a flow rate that's set too high, above 12 to 15 litres, you're simply using gas that you don't actually need and unnecessarily running down the cylinder's supply. Additionally, a flow rate that's too high could well cancel out the advantages of using a quality shielding gas, which is designed to keep atmospheric gases out. Too much gas can cause turbulence in the gas shield, which in turn can draw these atmospheric gases we want to keep out of the weld pool. The same principle applies to having the flow rate set too low. There will not be sufficient amounts of the shielding gas present to stop the ingress of atmospheric gases, and that could result in a weld that is full of porosity and therefore unfit for purpose. So, gas flow rates are a huge factor in any successful weld. Next up, we need to make sure that we have the correct personal protective equipment to keep us safe during our weld. Don't forget, ensure you are working in a well-ventilated environment, remove all flammable materials, ensure your regulator is compliant and in date, check the cylinder for signs of contamination, use leak detection fluid to ensure you are working safely and not wasting gas, set your flow rates correctly for the gas and material you are working with.